Advocate for Faith and Freedom attorney Robert Tyler says the Hunter Biden's contempt charge could damage his legal suit against former President Trump and Garrett Ziegler. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
Once lawmakers return from the congressional recess, the GOP-controlled House of Representatives will likely take up a resolution to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress. This comes following Hunter Biden's announced lawsuit against former Trump White House staffer Garrett Ziegler, the founder of the nonprofit research group Marco Polo, accusing him of illegally publishing sensitive information from Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop. Ziegler has just announced that advocates for faith and freedom and attorney Robert Tyler will join in his defense. Mr. Tyler, how does this contempt charge against Hunter Biden perhaps change the perception or standing of this lawsuit against Garrett Ziegler, who published the contents of the Hunter Biden laptop?
I don't see that the contempt issue is necessarily going to change anything legally as it relates to our case necessarily. If anything, it helps because this lawsuit that was brought against Garrett Ziegler is basically an attempt to censor him, an attempt to silence him and Marco Polo. But what we see here is we see that what Hunter Biden is engaged in, he's a public figure. Of course, there's so much going on here as it relates to the presidency and the president's involvement with his son's business dealings. All of this is of such great magnitude and of public concern that that Garrett Ziegler and Marco Polo are publishers who are presenting and providing critical information to the public, to Congress, and to everyone who should be very concerned about the integrity of our government.
Meanwhile, I think that Hunter Biden is claiming that Mr. Ziegler broke state and federal laws in an effort to create an online searchable database of 128,000 emails or so attributed to Biden. But my question here is that in a courtroom situation, the fact that Hunter Biden will be held in contempt or is likely to be held in contempt by Congress, doesn't that redound to this notion of irresponsibility? The fact that he left his laptop someplace and never picked it up? I mean, doesn't this just sort of demonstrate to a jury that this person is somewhat erratic and irresponsible?
This is a bully pulpit that Hunter Biden is using. What the Biden family here, or at least Hunter Biden, is attempting to do is to prevent free speech, is to prevent the information being aired in public, which is of great public concern. And the First Amendment protects that.
And essentially what your client has done is he has publicized what was on Hunter Biden's computer, his laptop computer, the one that he left behind in that Delaware computer repair shop. And he apparently signed a receipt or some sort of a notice that says if you don't come and pick up your stuff after a certain date, it doesn't belong to you anymore. It's assumed that you've abandoned it, right?
Right. Yeah, that's general law in here in the U.S., common law especially. When you take something to get repaired and you fail to return to pick it up, and especially if you fail to pay for it, then that vendor has the rights to your, in this case, laptop. And that laptop was apparently copied. It was provided to media, many different sources. The only thing different about my client is that he had the fortitude and the desire to be an investigative journalist that many in the media fail to do these days.
Meanwhile, you think that this is sort of a lawsuit which is acting in essence to intimidate your client and perhaps others who might seek to publicize this information and get it out into the public domain?
Certainly, without doubt, that is what this is about. This is an attempt to discredit, an attempt to intimidate a young man. Mr. Ziegler, he's a young guy and has a family. And this is not the first time we've seen these types of tactics, of course, used in major situations where there are huge political ramifications.
Mr. Tyler, Robert Tyler, Advocates for Faith and Freedom, thank you for talking to us on One American News, sir. Appreciate your time.